All right. Well, that is the wind, but that's what it's like here at the beginning of the baseball sports season in early April. It's a little bit cold, it's a little bit windy, but it's a lot of bit exciting. Pioneer Panthers baseball is back. Opening game of the season after a rainout from last Thursday, where they were going to face off against Frontier, but today the Pioneer Panthers host the Hopkins Golden Hawks. Tyler Borbo here with Lou Bordeaux, bringing you the play-by-play action of this game. Lou, thank you so much for coming out here and braving the abhorrent mid-40s temperature without the wind.
Tyler, we've been doing this long enough. We know in April this is the Northfield wind tunnel here. And today is no exception. Just for the folks at home, I do have my entire hockey outfit on, except the heated insoles, but I'm counting on a good day for Pioneer Panther baseball here. First home game of the season. Panthers opened early last week out in Belchertown, shut out 4-0 by the Orioles. Brody Welcome on the mound today for Pioneer. Team rallying around, and Tyler, I think we're going to have a good one.
I think so too. I'm really excited for this game. Both of these teams are just always kind of such a battle, such a rival. It's going to be really exciting to see how they match up, especially because I think both teams had certain players that have since, let's see, that was fouled out of play. They both have seniors that have left, especially Pioneer retiring 7 graduates off of the field.
Yeah, and that's the thing about high school sports is no team is set in stone forever. Count goes to 1-1. This is Aiden Keeling-Lococo. He's the center fielder today for Hopkins. There's nothing as constant as the change in high school athletics. And Pioneer, of course, coming off that amazing season last year, not just in baseball, but basketball, running the table, and the soccer team doing amazingly. The price to pay is graduation. But a lot of these student athletes have cut their teeth playing JV ball the last few seasons, so it's not like we're seeing an inexperienced club out there today.
And of course, we still have a bunch of returning players, and it's great to have, a small, Keeling-Lococo going down swinging. That's one out. Having some, about half of the team still here after last year, that kind of, you bring up new people and you're able to kind of show them how it's done and show them like the team dynamic and, the camaraderie that came along with it. Of course, we still have Kevin Leupold at the helm for the team. So, with the practice and the training and, the other players that have seen it happen, I think the ones that are new to the varsity team will now, see what it's like, and they'll step up and do their part.
Oh, I agree with you, and this is the really nice thing about having the depth of a JV program is that these student athletes have had the opportunity to, maybe if they weren't on the field with the varsity players, at least be around them, practice with them, and get to know what Coach Leupold wants out of his players. So while some of these student athletes may be a little bit on the young side, it's not that they're inexperienced. Count goes to 2-1. This is Matt Vassallo. He's the catcher for Hopkins. Some of these names, if you've tuned in over the years, going to be a little familiar to you today. Swung right through that one. Welcome took a little bit off of that. Count goes to 2-2. Vassallo's.
I apologize. Oh. It's full. I knew I missed one of them on there. Count is full.
Well, if the count's full, I missed one too. Right you are, Tyler. I was in preseason form there.
I will say the umpire's not holding his hands up as high as I would like him.
Well,
it's hard to see past the players, but
I'm gonna guess he didn't come equipped the way we did with hand warmers today.
For sure, he wants to get them back in his pockets and keep them warm. No doubt, I understand that for anybody. Hopefully they have warmers in their gloves.
That's not a bad idea. This is the shortstop, Chase Earl. Another name familiar from the Hopkins past seasons. He's going to be followed by first baseman J.J. Scanlon-Dean here in the top of the first. We've got one out, one runner on base. And gets to the backstop. Runner's going to advance. Battery today for the Panthers. As I said, that's Brody Welcome on the mound. New catcher this year, Mauricio Hanono. He comes highly regarded. Looking forward to seeing Mauricio get involved with the Panthers. Welcome checks the runner back. Ball's fouled down the left side. Going to do this one all over again. Left fielder today for the Panthers is Asa Stebbins. Aaron Muse in center field. Tommy Clary in right field. Get around the infield shortly. Nice breaking ball. Counts 2-2.
It's very interesting to see Brody there on the hill, only because he was, come last year, we were seeing him a lot being a very powerful DH. Really coming through in the clutch and going from DH to, showing the coach what he had, and the coach liked what he had. Seeing him on the hill, it's an interesting change. Really excited to see Brody's pitching.
And that one floats up high. It's ball 4.
Sorry about the count.
First game of the season for us, Tyler. We're going to have a couple bumps in the road today.
I'm still rusty. As I always say, I'll have things figured out by mid-June.
Just in time to be wrapping things up.
Yep.
Here's first baseman J.J. Scanlon-Dean. That's a foul ball down the left side. 0-1. Got a look at Hayden Girard there, number 17. And from his customary outfield position, he's playing shortstop today for the Panthers. Tad Loud is at second base. Another little pop-up.
Sorry, I got lost a little bit.
It's okay. Nice catch over there by Jacoby Stumpo, the third baseman. It's a big put out on the foul ball. Infield can relax a little bit here. Left fielder Carter Steisbeck at the plate. Hopkins has runners on first and second. We've got 2 out here in the top of the first. Breezy early spring day here in Northfield. That one just misses up high. Hopkins won their opening day game over Southwick by a 12-1 score. So they come in today 1-0. The Panthers 0-1. Very early in the season still. Had no stats available for that 12-1 game, so can't really tell you who the big hitters were for Hopkins that day. It was just up a little high, 2-1. Good stop behind the plate by Hanono. Count goes to 3-1. Despite that little bit of weather we had the last few days, field looks to be in great shape today. as it always is here at Pioneer. Line ball into right field. Clary fields it. Vassallo scores. Hopkins on the board first today. RBI single for Steispek.
Good job by Hopkins, having fun with 2.
Chase Earl advances to third base there.
Oh. There we go.
This is right fielder Derek Gramacki. This is outside, ball 1. Hopkins with runners on the corners, with 2 out here in the top of the first. Good location there by Brody. Count goes to 1-1. Second baseman Nate Rickles is on deck for Hopkins. Sliced foul down the right side. 1-2 on Gramacki. Welcome takes a look. Sets, deals. Took a little bit off of that, just missed. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the first inning. And it looks like a balk is called on Welcome because he saw Steispek coming off for first base, but his foot was on the rubber, turned around to look at the runner, and had already committed to home. So another run in for Hopkins. It's 2-0. Foul back. I think I heard metal that time.
No, I absolutely did. Hopefully everyone's insurance is paid up.
Well, it's unfortunate we're not on the scaffold today because we don't have that splendid vantage point of seeing who, what, where, when, and how. Sounds like a law firm I saw in a Three Stooges episode once. Called strike 3. That's going to retire the side. For Hopkins in the first inning, 2 runs, 1 base hit, 1 runner left. We're in the middle of the first inning here in Northfield. Hopkins Academy 2, Panthers coming to bat. Stay tuned, check out our sponsors. We'll be right back with more Pioneer Baseball here on BNC TV.
welcome back. The bottom of the first inning, Hopkins putting 2 on the board early on. And now we'll see what Pioneer bats are going to do.
And we're going to see Hodis, Hayden Gerard, leading things off. He'll be followed by Brody Welcome and E.T. Evan Tipeniuk here in the bottom of the first. All things considered, not a bad first inning for the Panthers. First ball swinging by Hodis. It's fouled away. Counts 0-1. That is Tucker Russell on the mound for Hopkins. Counts 1-1. Pitcher Russell is a junior for Hopkins Academy. Pounded into the ground. Can't make a play. Infield hit for Gerard gets things started for the Panthers.
I think it's being ruled a foul.
Oh, must have hit the plate twice on the way out then. Yep, we'll do that one all over again. Good thing this pencil's got an eraser on it, Tyler.
And the plate is considered out of bound or foul territory?
Yes. And he goes from on base to walking back to the bench. Strike 3 swinging. Rather unfortunate. Brings up the pitcher, Brody Welcome. As you were saying earlier, Tyler, Brody got a lot of DH time in last season, so we know he's comfortable with the stick in his hands.
And he definitely made some real crucial plays, including some clutch hits during the championship game at Polar Park, if I recall.
A day to remember. I think my voice is just getting back to normal now. It's taken a while. Counts 0-2 on Welcome. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 quick strikeouts by Tucker Russell. That's going to bring up first baseman Evan Tipeniuk.
Well, so far Russell's done a great job of throwing, just enough to kind of bait you to protect the strike zone, but he's putting them a little bit. Nothing's going right down the middle.
Yeah, he's taking the mound. He's pitching confidently, which is a good sign for Hopkins. He seems to have good control of his arsenal of pitches. Of course, he's 2-0 right now to E.T. Evan pitched against Belchertown last week. Rips that one out there. And left fielder Stysbeck corrals that, and that's going to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers. Nothing across. We are complete with 1 inning here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 2-0. Take a look at our sponsors and don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Panther baseball in a moment, right here on BNC TV.
welcome back. Top of the second inning. Brody Welcome back at it.
It's Nate Rickles to offer on that one. Ball goes foul down the left side. Rickles is the second baseman for Hopkins. Another one of those familiar names that we saw last year. Dug deep for that one.
Oh, I guess it was caught. By,
Gonna go with Hodis.
Gerard.
Yeah, Hodis making the put out there.
I didn't see Evan heading for first base, so by the time I tracked it down, everything was over.
Yes, and not being in our traditional scaffold position, some things are a little tough to see today.
Yeah, the muscle memory isn't working the same as it was before.
Yeah, and this is third baseman Harry West at the plate. Got one out here in the top of the second. Hopkins on top, 2-0. Still early. That looked like a good pitch by Welcome. Just missed low and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Swung right through that one, 2-2.
Looked like he really wanted that one. It was a good cut.
He did not get shortchanged on that swing. Welcome wanted him to go fishing on that one. West took it low and outside. Full count. Just missed for ball 4. You see West jogging down to first. ET's going to hold him on. This is DH Wyatt Cook at the plate. First pitch swinging, that's fouled out of play. I heard asphalt, but not metal that time, Tyler.
That's okay. That's okay. We can deal with the asphalt hits. It's the danger zone of cars parked in the lot that we always worry about.
And called strike 2, counts 0-2. I don't know how many years it took me to learn not to park over there. Finally figured it out, though. Loud knocks it down. Everybody's safe. Infield hit for Cook. Puts runners on first and second. There you get a good look at Harry West. Tad Loud right behind him. And Wyatt Cook on first base. Back to the top of the order, Aiden Keeling-Lococo, the center fielder. Aiden's hit by a pitch. That's going to load him up. Panthers went from a quick 1 out in this inning to seeing the bases loaded. Coach Leupold comes out. He's going to have a few words for Brody and for his infielders. Always a tough situation, Tyler, when you are looking at a solid defensive play like Hodis made, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, walk, scratch single, hit by pitch, and bases loaded for Hopkins.
Well, hopefully, whatever strategy Coach Leupold's giving to Brody Welcome on the mound is that settle in, throw your pitches, and we'll take care of the the fielding, excuse me, and hopefully he can just do his thing and throw those strikes if they hit him, and we'll work with that. But it's a tough ball game when what you don't want to do is just have kind of this revolving door of walks. So do whatever you got to do to get the ball over the plate and let the fielders handle it.
No, you're right. Giving away free bases is a recipe for disaster. So hopefully the mound visit settled Brody down a little bit. He's actually been pitching very well. This is Matt Vassallo, the catcher. Quickly goes to 0-2. Once again, Hopkins has the bases loaded, just one out here in the top of the second. They already have a 2-run lead. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
Boy, nice pitch. I feel convinced about 50% of the baseball and softball community just loves those high ones just a little too much.
Well, no, you're exactly right, and it's something that you don't see just at youth baseball or the high school level, but all the way up into the majors. For some reason, batters just can't lay off that high hard one, and pitchers have known it for generations, which is why they still throw them up there.
I think it's just because your eyes are higher than the strike zone, so there's just kind of an angle.
Absolutely. Chase Earl gets under when it's out to left field. Yeah, it looks like it's a foul ball.
Boy, and that was moving in a direction where if there was just a little bit more of a gust of wind, I think we would have seen that as a grand slam.
Well, I think the wind actually helped that one from the Pioneer perspective, because as Asa Stubbins ran over to flag it down, he kind of put his arms back. I think he was that close to the foul line over there. Oh, another hit batsman. That's going to force in a run.
And, just out of a perspective, see this gentleman out there just walking away, he picked up the ball. So it was very, very close. But that's another run sent in.
Yep, Hopkins takes a 3-0 lead. And they jump from the frying pan into the fire. Here's the cleanup hitter, J.J. Scanlon-Dean. He fouled out to Jacoby Stumpo in the first inning. Low pitch gets away. Another run's going to come in on the wild pitch. For 4-0 Hopkins. The other runners advance. Now they've got runners on second and third with 2 out. That one's high and away. Another wild pitch. Another run's going to score. And Chase Earl advances over to third base on the wild pitch. Hopkins now up 5-0. There's a strike. Three and one on Scanlon-Dean. And that's another foul ball off home plate. Count goes to 3-2 on the Hopkins first baseman. Lined out to Aaron Muse in center field. And that's going to retire the side. Not before Hopkins pushes across 3 more runs. We're in the middle of the second inning here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 5-0. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Panther baseball coming right up here on BNC TV. Welcome back, folks. This is our first look at Mauricio Hinono, catcher for the Panthers. Takes strike 1. Low and away from Russell, 1-1. I know Mauricio had a good soccer season for the Panthers. Russell took a little off that one. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Mauricio is a good all-around sports addition to the Pioneer student body.
Good eye on that one. It's 2-2.
Mauricio moving here from Florida. I wonder what he's thinking of seeing snowflakes during the baseball season.
That's a good question. I know I just got hit with one a little while ago, and even though I'm bundled up for the occasion, not my favorite, Tyler.
No, I feel like there's should be a strict exclusivity between the two, baseball and snowflakes.
This is second baseman Tad Loud at the plate. Takes low, ball 1. Of course, a lot of you may remember Tad's older brother Peter played for the Panthers several years ago.
Also at second base.
Ironically.
And I'd have to really do some digging, but both have a older brother, Jack Loud, that I also think also played baseball, and I'm curious whether or not he too played second base.
Sounds like something Steve Harvey should be asking on the Family Feud. Russell had to retrieve the baseball.
apologize. I'm off on the count.
I think it's 2-1. And folks at home, you can tell by that tarp behind home plate what the wind is doing here in Northfield today. Count is 3 balls, 1 strike on Tad. He's going to be followed by center fielder Aaron Muse. Made that nice catch to retire Hopkins in the top of the second inning. Good location by Russell. It's a full count on Loud. Fly ball out to center field. It's put away by Aiden Keeling-Lococo.
Well, nice job by Loud getting the bat on the ball. You know, that's the way you want to go down.
What's it? He had a good cut at that one. Another good pitch by Tucker Russell. And with 2 outs, here's our first look at Aaron Muse. Takes strike 1. That one's way outside. 2-0. Or excuse me, 1-1.
That one kind of seemed like Russell didn't really have complete balance, but knew, I mean, well, I guess it doesn't matter balking, right?
Right.
So I suppose you can stop mid-stride.
And Muse lines out to Carter Steisbeck in left field. That's going to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers. Nothing across. 2 innings complete here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 5-0. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Panther baseball coming right up here on BNC TV. along with all of our other sponsors here on BNC TV. And thank you, Sweet Lucy.
Sorry about that. Button didn't do what I needed it to do.
It's cold too, Tyler. Sticebeck takes that one low. 2 balls and a strike. And we certainly would like to thank all of our sponsors here on BNC TV. Went fishing on that one, 2-2. Yes, indeed, your sponsorship makes these video productions possible, so thank you very much. Breaking ball outside, count goes full. For Hopkins having 5 runs on the board, they only have 2 singles today. Ball gets away from Mauricio. Finds it pretty quickly. And another base on balls, a.k.a. the walk. And this is going to be right fielder Derek Gramacki. Derek was caught looking back in the first inning. Pitch is way outside for ball 1.
Nice snag by Hanono, keeping that ball in front of him. Keeps runner on first.
Swung right through that one, 1-1. Even though Carter Sticebeck has played for Hopkins in the past, having Brody Welcome on the mound, it's kind of an unknown quantity, but he is going to run there. Hanono's throw goes into center field. You could almost see Carter Sticebeck watching Brody and trying to get a sense of timing. Little guy over there in left field swinging his bat. Good crowd on hand here today for opening day in Northfield.
Yeah, as I mentioned by the opening, it was a pretty gross day last Thursday. You know, it would have been cold, just finished up raining. I think if it was still raining, but leading up until the cancellation, we were looking at kind of an open pocket of the rain slowing down, but it would have just been a miserable game for everybody.
Well, I know you and I were texting back and forth to see if we were going to or we were not going to. And I had my heated insoles charging up. They were ready to go. Sliced into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Sticebeck holds over at third base. Gramacki on with the single. And Hopkins threatening again with runners on the corners, nobody out. Evan Tippanyuk giving Brody a little words of wisdom. Second baseman Nate Rickles at the plate. Nate lined out to shortstop. And another hit batsman. That's going to load him up. Bases loaded, nobody out for Hopkins.
It's definitely a situation nobody wants to be in with that bases loaded, no outs. It's hard work.
This is third baseman Harry West. Harry walked and scored last inning. And Welcome comes right in with that one. It's 1-1. Yeah, it's a difficult situation, Tyler, for somebody that may have pitched some JV innings, but of course, if you don't have the time to watch the JV games, Brody really is an unknown quantity on the mound. He seems to have control of his pitches, other than a few hit batsmen. We're 3-1 right now on Harry West. His breaking ball has a lot of movement to it. He's thrown a changeup. Good pitch to make the count full, 3-2.
And if I remember the lineup, West is towards the bottom of the lineup.
That is correct.
All right, so this seems to be around the time, if you're going to make something happen, start making something happen. I don't think you want to hit the meat of the lineup and still have bases loaded.
Yeah, Harry is followed by the DH Wyatt Cook, and then it's back to the top of the order. Full count on West. Bases loaded, nobody out. Another foul ball out of play. Did not hear metal. That's a good thing. Train just went by. Drop that one in for strike 3. What a great pitch.
Oh, nice job. They really needed that one.
Just a bold pitch to make in that situation by Welcome. One out. Here's Wyatt Cook, the DH. Wyatt had that infield single. Looks like we're going to have a pickoff. Run's going to score. Two-run score.
And a very unique situation.
Welcome went to first to try and pick Rickles off. While that was going on, the runner got in a pickle. E.T. ran down towards second. Steispec scored from third. While the pickle went on, Tad Loud intercepted one of the throws, threw home just too late as Gramacki scored. It's 7-0. And curiously enough, Nate Rickles is still on first base.
Well, I'm kind of curious about whether or not they were trying that out to see how that would work. Causing the steal, causing focus. And, all the attention was drawn into trying to get that out, not really paying attention to what the other runners were doing. It's a hard thing to do during that kind of chaos. You're so focused on running down the pickle. It's hard to pay attention to what else is happening on the field.
Strike on the outside corner. Counts 2 balls and a strike on Wyatt Cook. Good pitch there, got him to swing. Foul tip into the mid, it's 2-2. And for the first time in the last hour or so, the wind has actually died down for a moment. I think I've jinxed it though, Tyler.
Just as I started to feel it.
Called on strike 3, another great pitch by Brody Welcome. 2 batters in a row, just frozen in their tracks.
Well, I can understand that. It is very, very cold out here. I'm frozen in my tracks myself.
Well played, well played.
I think I might use that excuse next time I can't track down a play before it happens.
The camera just doesn't turn as fast in this weather.
That's true. It's a fluid head, so the fluid can colder and move slower. That's my excuse.
And this is our third look at Aiden Keeling-Lococo, the center fielder for Hopkins. Aiden struck out in the first, was hit by a pitch last inning. Fouled that one out of play. I think the most disturbing thing, Tyler, is every once in a while, a stray snowflake comes this way.
It's ominous, to say the least.
To say the least. Another one gets away from Mauricio. Rickles advances to third base.
And 2-1. There we go.
Another one gets away. Rickles safe at home. It's 8-0 Hopkins. Three balls and a strike on Keeling Lococo. And he takes a walk. Not seeing any activity in the Panther bullpen at the moment. Catcher Matt Fasalo at the plate. Matt walked in the first, struck out in the second.
Go ahead.
No, it takes strike one right down Broadway.
I was going to say, that was a very nice pitch. You saw him kind of make a slight movement like he wanted to go after that one, but...
And yes, friends, there's more than just one snowflake out here now.
Yes, there are.
High pop-up foul. Evan Tippeniuk puts it away, and that's going to retire the side. For Hopkins, 3 more runs on just 1 base hit. 1 runner left after 2.5. Hopkins leads this one 8-0. Please check out our sponsors here on BNC TV, and we will be coming right back with more Panther baseball right here on BNC TV.
are back.
Yes, we are.
Bottom of the third inning. Bottom.
Tucker Russell still on the hill for Hopkins. He's done well so far today. This is our first look at O.C. Ballard, the DH. First pitch swinging back into Souvenir Country. O.C.'s going to be followed by Asa Stebbins and Tommy Clary here in the bottom of the third. Couldn't quite check his swing there. It's 0-2. Drops in for strike three. A great pitch by Russell. That brings up left fielder Asa Stebbins. Russell drops that one in for strike one.
Asa Stebbins has been asking me about baseball all year. I would say even in early September, he's asking me, Tyler, are you taping baseball this year? Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play. And so he has been looking forward to donning the varsity uniform and giving his varsity baseball chops a go all year, and he's really looking forward to it.
Well, then let me say, Asa Stebbins, welcome to the Pioneer Panther varsity squad. Had a nice cut there. And he didn't get cheated on his swings, that's for sure. 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
And, Asa is, I believe, an 8th grader.
All the more impressive then.
Very, very young player. And, Coach sees something in him that's going to be really, really interesting to work on and shape and mold. And it's going to be really exciting to see what Asa Stebbins brings forth in the future years, including this season.
Well, I don't want to put any extra burden on his shoulders, but those last 2 cuts he took reminded me a lot of Ethan Quinn at the plate. So perhaps that's a role model for him here in the Panther lineup. This is Tommy Clary. He's down 0-2. That one's up and in.
Would that have constituted chin music?
That was the big band version of it.
One of my favorite baseball slang.
Clary makes contact. Rickles over to Scanlon Dean. That's going to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers. 3 innings in the books here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 8-0. Bottom of the fourth, or top of the fourth inning. I'm trying to get warm too quick here, Tyler. Top of the fourth inning. This is shortstop Chase Earl leading off for Hopkins Academy. Got a new pitcher on the hill for the Panthers.
It's O.C. Ballard.
That is O.C. Ballard. Put away his DH stick, picked up his glove, and he's out there now. From here, I'm not looking at the monitor right now, but it looks like Brody Welcome is now on second base.
That is correct.
Well, that's right. You're way up top there. You got the good view. Counts 1-1 on Earl.
Oh, we do have Brody Welcome.
There he is.
At second base. And I do believe that pulls Tad Loud off the field for this inning.
That is correct.
I don't see any other substitutions.
I am not seeing his headscarf out there. I noticed he was absolutely dressed for the occasion today. As is OC, come to think of it. Nice pitch by OC. Counts 2-2 on Earl.
Fouled down the third baseline.
Teed off on the north-south curveball. Count remains 2-2. Panthers are going to have to put their hitting shoes on the rest of the way here, Tyler. Another one popped out into left field. Asa Stebbins puts that one away. Looking as comfortable in the field as you would expect. Nicely done. And with one out, first baseman J.J. Scanlon-Dean going to step back in. J.J.'s 0 for 2 today. Fouled out to third base in the first inning, lined out to Aaron Muse in the second. That's ball one, just missed. Inside, 2-0. Pioneers going to be back in action here in Northfield this coming Thursday at 4 o'clock.
I will say every day this week looks like it warms up just a little bit more. And so come Friday, even though there's no game, we're looking at close to 70 degrees.
And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but the first half of next week we are looking at the mid-70s. So Tyler, my friend, we go from the wind tunnel of Northfield to black fly season almost overnight.
You just can't win.
2-1 on Scanlon-Dean. Looks like OC relies on that north-south curveball, and that's okay. Seems to be working for him. Counts 2-2. Ooh, that just missed.
Looks like you really wanted to bait the batter into going after that one.
If I'm the batter in that situation, that one's just too close to take. I've got to take a rip at it. Full count. Welcome over to ET. We got 2 out.
Well, finally got some sun out here to warm us up a bit.
Magic happening all at once for us. Left fielder Carter Steisbeck steps back in. He had a single and a run batted in the first inning. walked and scored in the third. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Just inside, 2-0. And you were right, Tyler. As soon as I said it, that wind picked right back up again. You can see that tarp behind home plate. Reminiscent of a Superman cape.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And that's why we get along so well. And that hit Steispek on top of the helmet as he ducked down for it. So he's going to take first base. Another hit batsman.
Now, for a brief moment there, I was kind of curious whether or not it hit like the top of his bat as opposed to his head.
Here's Derek Gramacki, right fielder. Lifted into right field. And Clary chases it down. It's a foul ball.
Son of a gun.
Home plate umpire retrieving some balls. That one's up high. Two balls and a strike on Gramacki. He's 1 for 2 today. Fouled away. 2-2. He was caught looking back in the first inning. Singled and scored in the third. Hopkins with a runner on first base. 2 out. That sure looks like a balk. Yeah, OC had started his delivery and out of the corner of his eye saw Steispek heading towards second, and you can't stop your motion that way. Runner on second, 2 out. Just missed outside. Full count, 3-2 on Gramacki. Just missed outside for ball 4. Ballard nipping at the corners there. Just missed. And there you see Steispek on second base. Brings up second baseman Nate Rickles. Hopkins with runners on first and second, 2 out here in the top of the fourth. That one misses up high. Drop that one in. It's one of those situations, Tyler, where OC really needs to continue doing with what's working for him. Not try to be too fancy out there. Rickles.
Boy, case in point. Nice pitch.
Rickles takes the home run swing at that one. Counts 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. It's going to retire the side. For Hopkins in the 4th inning. No runs, 2 runners left on base, no base hits. We're in the middle of the 4th here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 8-0. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Panther baseball coming right up in a moment here on BNC TV and worldwide on YouTube. Well, the sun's out here in Northfield. I'm not going to mention the wind because every time I do it picks back up again, as you can see by that Superman tarp behind home plate. We're back to the top of the order. That's Hayden Gerard. What a great catch over there by Scanlon Dean, the first baseman, on the foul ball. Great effort over there.
Oh, nice job. And not really used to being this side of the light posts and having them be any kind of view imposing. Used to being right in right field, but we're in the process of fixing some of our perch equipment, so we should be back to normal relatively soon.
Tyler, you're the best executive producer in the game, so if you say it, it's got to be true. This is Brody Welcome. Brody struck out back in the first inning. He's moved from the mound to second base defensively. Counts 1-1. Good pitch by Russell. Right down Broadway, it's 1-2. Tucker Russell coming into the bottom of the fourth inning has 3 solid innings under his belt so far. Rickles over to Scanlon Dean. That's going to retire Welcome. And there's 2 out. So far, Tucker Russell has 5 strikeouts on the day for Hopkins. Here's Evan Tippenyuk. ET flew out to left field back in the first inning. Sliced foul. Out of play down the right field line. Looked almost like Evan wanted to come this way with it. Check swing, 1-1.
Well, the Panthers have been getting their bat on the ball kind of all game. Just haven't been putting it in places where the fielders ain't.
Well, thank you, Yogi. But the other thing about early season high school baseball is that for so many of the programs that have had to have the majority of their practices inside, you just don't get that same simulated game feeling. I know I talked to Coach Leupold, and they've, of course, by now come back outside, but when you consider 2 or 3 weeks inside, it's quite a transition to get back out to the natural turf.
Oh, for sure. Between, it was a heavy snow season, so things melting away, really needed to take its time.
Yeah, I still have PTSD from the winter.
and plus, we've had, I would say, an extremely rainy, early spring. And it's just not giving you any of that yard time like you were talking about. To be out here, get the pitching machine going, really do up the practices the way they need to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's one of those things that you look at the scoreboard today, and Pioneer's in a pretty deep hole right now, but they are still learning the fundamentals of playing high school baseball. A lot of these student athletes that have not played varsity baseball before are essentially getting the hang of it right now. Tipanyuk out to right field. And Gramacki puts that away. That's going to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers in the fourth. Nothing across. We have 4 innings complete here in Northfield. Hopkins leads this one 8-0. Please take a look at our sponsors here in between innings, and don't go anywhere. We have more Panther baseball coming right up on BNC TV. top of the 5th inning here in Northfield. Looks like we've got a pinch hitter up there in Harry West's spot.
19, perhaps?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't have one on the roster here, so. Ground ball to E.T.
Yep, number 19.
So, not sure who that is. Oh, wait, I've got the Mass Live page open. Let me see if I've got it there.
Oh. Did I not mark it down on?
That's Jack Chiz, C-Y-C-Z, sophomore first baseman.
Yep, well, that's 16. Maybe the number's written wrong on the card that I received.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack Chiz.
Yep. Makes sense. So, Jack, sorry, took us a minute to figure out who you were. And that one's back up the middle, just bounced over Osie's head. That's a base hit. And that was Wyatt Cook, the DH. Back to the top of the order now. Aiden Keeling-Lococo, center fielder. Strike one. Swung right through that one. Quick throw down to first base. Cook dives back in safely. Got under that one, lifts it sky high. It's foul ball. And it's out of play. Just missed with that one. Again, that north-south curveball just hung a little high. It's where it crosses the plate, not where it goes into the catcher's mitt. That's a long drive. Off Aaron Muse's glove, goes to the fence. Cook is going all the way around. He scores. It's 9-0. Keeling-Lococo with a long double.
Beautiful hit.
Yeah, he got all of that one.
Especially with a count against him. Other than a ball just before, he was sitting on 0-2. Managed to crank that one in there. Just saw his pitch and took it.
No, you're absolutely right, Tyler. This is Matt Vassallo, the catcher. He takes ball one up high. Got one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Nice pitch. One and one on Vassallo. That's inside. 2-1 on the Hopkins catcher. He's going to be followed by shortstop Chase Earl here in the top of the 5th inning. Vassallo thought about it. It was outside, though. Three and one. And that's inside for ball 4. Golden Hawks threatening again. Runners on first and second with just 1 out. Getting into the meat of the Hopkins batting order now. First pitch swing by Chase Earl. Clary's there. He's got it. Takes a tumble. Keeling Lococo tags and advances. Well, Clary took a tumble. He scores.
Was that caught?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Vassallo advanced to second base. So we got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
I wouldn't be surprised if that one was the case of the wind. The sudden last steps that Clary had taken to make that catch was in the same direction as the wind going, and no doubt with a rainmaker like that, it was definitely going to be affected by some of the gusts that have been moving through here all day.
Got another pinch hitter now. This is Drew Crutch at the plate. He's batting in place of J.J. Scanlandine. Casual swing at that one. 2 balls and a strike. Two and two.
Steal over to third.
Matt Vassallo, the uncontested steal.
Say Vassallo, before the ball even left Ballard's hands, he was already halfway towards the bag.
And that one's up high for ball 4. Hopkins, runners at the corners. Left fielder Carter Steisbeck swung at that one in on his hands, 0-1. Carter singled in the first, walked and scored in the third, and got hit by a pitch in the fourth. Ground ball, Gerard's got it. And Steisbeck beats it out. Good hustle. Yeah. we said in stereo.
Oh, that means another run.
Vassallo scored from third. That's 11. There are certain games that come up on your schedule that I know as a coach, you always look forward to playing certain teams and, perhaps issuing a receipt. I do know that Pioneer, that bounces in front of Clary. He's safe at the plate. And it looks like one of the Panthers is down. I didn't see who that was, Tyler. Is that OC?
I think it might be OC.
All right, well, we're going to hold on commentary for a moment.
But, while we get that figured out, some of our obligations in between innings, you've seen a few business logos up there. Those are our local sponsors. We're so happy to be partnered with those local sponsors. I think almost all of them have been with us at least through the basketball season and into the spring sports season, and some all the way through last year. Sam Browning Jr. Trucking, Sweet Lucy's Bakeshop, Works LTD, the Tree Experts, Wiggin Hydroseeding, Zilinksi HVAC, DiGeorge Builders right here in Bernardston, and of course Greenfield Cooperative Bank. So happy to be partnered up with them. Without them, this broadcast would not be possible. So very thankful for those local businesses help BNC TV bring you the programming that we do. We love covering these local sports and supporting these high school athletes, and these businesses help us do that. And all this week is baseball with this game and the game come Thursday, weather permitting. But the girls are off to a pretty good season. They're 1-1. The varsity softball team falling to Narragansett and getting a big win against Mohawk. But they'll be on the road for a few games this week, and then we'll see them right back here on the varsity softball field come next week. I'll have to check my schedule for the next game. And as I've been prattling on, I have no idea what the count is.
That's okay, Tyler. I wasn't going to step on you there. Umpire's got to check his clicker. Looks like it's 0-2. And we got another pinch hitter. This is Seth Jekanowski. He's batting for Nate Rickles. Hopkins on top 11-0 at this point. Ball and 2 strikes. You mentioned upcoming games. I started to say that Greenfield was going to be here. Oh, that's strike 3. Well, we're going to take a break. I'll get to that schedule next inning. But give 3 more to Hopkins here in the 5th. They lead this one 11-zip. Don't go anywhere. More Panther baseball coming up right here on BNC TV. Time for the bottom of the 5th inning here in Northfield. This is Mauricio Hinono, catcher for the Panthers. Struck out back in the 2nd. Tucker Russell on the bump for Hopkins, doing a masterful job today. 1-1.
Well, something that you mentioned earlier, and now that I'm looking at the screen and seeing it flap in the background, the part of the reason why that black fabric is on the backstop is the coach wanted to create kind of a minimize all the distractions that you can visually for the pitcher.
Yep.
You got that black background, you know, the only thing that you have to focus on in your pitching direction is, you know, the batter and the catcher.
Popped straight up. And no play. Two on two on Hinono. First season with the Panthers. We are glad to have him here. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Another good pitch by Tucker Russell. That's his 6th strikeout of the day.
He has been doing a fantastic job, and he's still pitching. You know, I mentioned something earlier, I want to say back in the 1st inning, how Russell was doing a great job of placing that ball just on the maybe it isn't edge of the strike zone.
Yeah, we've got Tad Loud back at the plate, so he and OC just switched positions. OC on the mound, or rather, OC the DH, now on the mound, and Tad came in when Brody Welcome went to second base. Tad Loud now the DH. Another good pitch by Russell. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tyler. Tucker Russell has really great control of the strike zone today, and Panther hitters have made contact a few times, but still looking for their first base hit on the afternoon. Count goes to 1-2 on Loud. Swung on and missed strike 3. It's Russell's 7th strikeout on the day. Brings up Aaron Muse, the center fielder. Aaron lined out to left field back in the 2nd inning. Takes strike 1. On the outside corner, 0-2. Fouled out of play. Count remains 0-2.
Nice job protecting by Muse.
Yeah, it certainly was, Tyler. Very defensive swing there. Slow roll to second. He's out at first. It's going to retire the side for the Panthers. 3 up, 3 down. And it looks like with the 10-run rule in effect, that's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Hopkins wins this opening day tilt here in Northfield by a count of 11-0. And say what you will, usually a game goes 7 innings, but that's a 5-inning perfect game by Tucker Russell. Panthers with no base runners today. So congratulations to Tucker. Good start to his season. And even though the Panthers came out on the short end of the stick today, learning experience, Tyler. They've got a lot to look forward to. I know I said I was going to talk about the schedule. I never got around to it. So we got the home game here with Greenfield on Thursday at 4 o'clock. As you said, weather permitting. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you get a chance, come on out here to Northfield. After that, a 3-game road trip. 1 week from today, Monday the 13th at Frontier. Wednesday, April 15th, get your taxes in, ladies and gentlemen, at Athol. And Friday, April 17th, 4 o'clock at Oakmont. There's a road trip for you. And the Panthers will return home after that 3-game roadie on Monday, April 20th, 2 weeks from today, to take on Turner's Falls. Tyler, what do you think of today's game?
Well, I think you put it really well. It's a learning experience. I mean, there's a lot of changes when it's a big changeover, graduating 7 players off your field. That's almost your entire starting lineup. It's a tough turnover, but I think that the optimism is there, and I think that there's some big shoes to fill, but the talent is there. I think that as the season goes on, we're going to see a lot of good shaping and a lot of good potential coming out of this team, and they're just going to need to work it out. I mean, we got two players on the Pioneer team that has never been on the Pioneer field before. And they're still getting to know all of that. They're getting to know the players, and there's an excitement to having a new team that you can kind of shape and mold and piece together and build up. And it's going to be a really exciting season to see what comes out of it, and they just need the time to work. And unfortunately, I'm always surprised with how quickly the baseball season starts based on the amount of time that you have to be able to get out there. I mean, we were talking about the snow melting and whatnot, and they just have such a short amount of time to be able to spend out here practicing and getting the team together. And, they got some work to do, but, the season is going to roll on while they continue to work on that. And, I'm excited to see what upcoming games provide for us.
Well, and I don't want to sound like a complainer here, but having been to several or a lot of PVIAC coaches meetings for hockey, so much of what happens out here in Western Mass now is dictated by what Maya wants. And I know the hockey season, they start tryouts the Monday after Thanksgiving, and some teams are literally playing within 2 weeks after that. Same here in baseball. We had the opportunity to talk to Coach Leopold, and when the season starts, you're starting in the gymnasium, and because Maya wants these games played to be done by a certain date. Yeah, I know I said earlier that by the end of the season we'll be in polo shirts and shorts, but we're not now. The players are not now, and the shots we had of the fans, they're all gathered. They look like they're going to a football game or a hockey game. The winter hats, everything that we saw on the sidelines today. But fact of the matter is, the weather is the same for both teams that are playing the game, and they just have to figure it out. As you said, I think that as the season progresses, we're going to see a lot of exciting baseball here in Northfield. The Panthers, while a young team, are certainly not anything to be taken lightly. We saw enough good today in players that we had not seen before that the Panthers are going to be in good shape before you know it. And the fact that they've been blanked in their first 2 games, yeah, not the most fortunate way or not the best way to start a season, but it's not the way that the season's going to end for them.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, Lou. But that's it for us here at the North Pole.
The frozen tundra. So I'll say then, for the best executive producer in the business, Tyler Borbo, I am Lou Bordeaux, thanking you for your time this time, and until next time, so long from Northfield.